Welcome back. Let's get over to the CME Group. Rick Santelli has the Santelli Exchange. Rick.
Thanks, David. Well, Friday, of course, we all know 8:30 Eastern. We didn't receive a report like most of us would want to receive. We did see a drop in the unemployment rate of 1/10, but really that's the conversation I want to have. Once again, we see that things like labor force participation rate, many articles over the weekend or like today in the Wall Street Journal about what percentage of those that we don't count as unemployed, affecting things like the trend in labor force participation rate, where people are going into things like disability. How do we get America to work again? Well, I certainly don't believe that the Fed programs are doing a good job of that. But one thing is clear. They're going to try to make crystal clear exactly how drops in the unemployment rate like Friday's really don't portend that things are getting better. This used to be the fodder of many people that wanted to go into the weeds, but it's finally starting to reach the masses, and I think it's a good thing. But I certainly don't think that the Fed's programs are still going to make a huge difference. And we also learned on Friday, to tie all of this in somewhat together, Portugal's High Court basically is going to make it very difficult, in my opinion, for Portugal to stay in the Union. Why? Because their High Court ruled that you cannot, for public pensioners, cut their wages, cut their benefits. Why? Well, there's a bit of socialism that's going on, and some of these reforms that are much needed are being fought. I'll give you an example of the unintended consequences of this. They're now thinking maybe to pay some of the wages for these workers in Portuguese T-bills. That is like 2 standard deviations away from real, tangible gold-backed currency. It's kind of fiat. And it brings me to the last story, the Iron Lady. This story really, to me, shows how we need more Reagans and Iron Ladies, and I have to read my 2 favorite quotes. The problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. And another quote that's one of my favorites: being powerful is like being a lady. If you have to tell people you are, you aren't. 79's when she came into power. Think about how toothless Jimmy Carter was. Hostages in Iran. And then a decade later, between Reagan and Thatcher, we brought down the Iron Curtain. We need strong-willed, who cares about the polls, who cares about marketing and buzzwords? We need strong leaders. I heard somebody say today she may have torn the social fabric of Europe. Are you kidding? She tried to tear the socialism out of the fabric of Europe. Back to you, David.